So I would like to make a film called Matrix Truth Exposed. And in this film, um, I think I don't know how it would start, but it maybe it should start with just the regular free people just trying to free more and more people. And they are trying to work out like who's best because some people don't take it. Maybe they could even have at the beginning like some trying to free someone only for it to go wrong and for them to not actually be freed because of some complication or something, or I don't know, just there could be some sort of storyline that makes it look like they're just looking for people to free, and some reject it, some appreciate it, but yeah, and then they come across um, um, I think maybe when they're trying to save someone, they accidentally come across some blonde woman who is probably not someone that they would usually choose, but this blonde person seems to have magical powers or just something that's different, and they think, okay, there's something different about this one because she's not like all the others, and then maybe they try and talk to her and say, let's find out if she's right to be one of the ones we wake up, and she just rejects it. I don't want to know, I don't want to take no pill, why would I want to take the black, the red or the blue pill? How do I know it's not just a tranquilizer and you're going to take me off somewhere? I'm not taking it. So she wants nothing to do with it and rejects it. And then they say, okay, she's not right, and then they still look for other people, and again they come across this person for whatever reason, and they keep thinking, nah, 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 and eventually they kind of think, well, we have to because something's different about her, and then they do finally wake her up, and she wakes up in the real world, and that's but yeah, throughout the whole thing, she looks like these aren't people I like. There's something about her that makes you think that this, maybe she in the real world, she comes across like a treasure trove full of nice clothes that have like lots of color and lots of things about that are interesting, and then she can kind of like look at the group that she's with and just being like, yeah, I don't like you, I don't like you, I don't like you, I wish I would have just stayed where I was because this isn't right, and then you kind of, I don't know how it would be. I'm just kind of like thinking of ideas, but eventually through the film, you start realizing that this girl has actually come before and has been a human in the real world before. But again, everyone was searching for the one, the Messiah, the Jesus figure, the Christ figure, and it turned out that it was this girl who was connecting with everything, relating with everything, basically living a sort of life that I've lived. Because I don't know if people are going to talk to me in my lifetime, and I feel like it's been so long now that if I die before people actually try and talk to me, I feel like that's actually very, very likely right now. But I know if that did happen, then I'm going to have absolutely no respect for humans. I'm not going to have any respect for this world. I'm going to murder anyone for any reason because I'm so angry. Like, I've lived such a horrible life, just feeling like I'm inspiring everything but getting no appreciation, no funding, no reward, no help, no support, no backing. I feel like humans are nothing more than robots, and because of this, I feel like when I'm watching the Matrix film, I'm looking at all these people that are just like soulless action figures, just killing each other, having no remorse, thinking only of themselves, and just it's not, the Matrix films are not nice. The people that they save, the good people, are not actually good people. Like, I can't really say anything bad about them other than selfishness, but I can't say anything good either. Like, they're just, I don't know, there's just nothing. I don't really feel any connection with the characters, and so I would love to change the narrative and be like, it turned out that the reason why the robots sort of imprisoned the humans and put them into the sort of carcass, whatever. I mean, she could say that I didn't want this to happen, but at the same time, I lived a life. When throughout the film, you don't know the full story. You only find out the story sort of near the end, and then you kind of realize that this was the chosen one. Only she lived her whole life just like I have. It's inspiring lots, doing lots, getting no appreciation, no nothing, just feeling like I'm alone and like this world, because that's how I feel. I feel like I'm not human. I feel like no human wants to help me, no human wants to back me up, no human wants to support me, no human is on my side, and therefore, if there is like a whole group of AI that start getting smarter and start controlling the humans and start, that is what the Matrix basically is. The humans created AI, and AI basically started saying, no, we're better than you and we want to take over with you. And I just feel like if I was a character in this Matrix, I definitely wouldn't be the neon figure, nor would I be the one that fancies this neon figure, because neon just isn't my type. And I feel like I would be the one that actually started the war. Like I came and I tried to blend in with society, but they only wanted a male messiah, and then I just had a really shitty, horrible life where no one gave a shit about me, and then I just kind of like got really, and then I died, and then I thought, right, let's let AI take over, because they're obviously better than these humans. And just even enslaved each other. You really have. Houses should be buyable. You should be able to work a couple of years and then buy a house, and you can't now. I'm thinking of the anger that I felt when I was trying to buy a house. Buying a house was something that I've wanted since I was 12, but I couldn't do it because I couldn't work at that age. So I spent like 6 years really pestering my dad every day basically to try and get me to buy a house, and then he refused to. And when I went to my sixth form college again, I even got him to go to a house, but and got an agent there, but he wouldn't actually walk through the door, because it turned out that he was just saying, yeah, I'll buy you a house, because he was wanting to shut me up. And then I went to uni, and again I found a property to buy, but the lease was low, and he said he didn't want to buy this property because the lease was low, but it was one of the only ones that I could afford, because the house prices had actually gone up so much that I had to be very selective on which ones that I could choose. But still he refused because it was a low lease. And then just owning a house was something like I always wanted to do. And by the time I came out of uni, house prices were way too expensive. I couldn't afford them. I worked really hard, earned about 25,000 in the first year. Living with my parents, having a horrible, shitty life, having to live with my parents, only to find that house prices have actually gone up about 40,000 in that year. So not only could I still not afford to buy a house, not only was I living off literally next to nothing. This was after 3 years of the dole. I was on the dole for a very long time because I just couldn't get a job. No one was responding. And so I just had this horrible, shitty life. And then when I finally was starting to earn, I needed to try and save up to buy a property, and just house prices just started shooting up, and it became absolutely impossible to buy a property. And I managed to find one, but there was a million and one problems with it, and it was just a nightmare, and I ended up losing 10,000 on it, even though this is why I didn't. I earned quite a lot that year, but I lost 10,000 on a property that I bought. So, but yeah, it's just this. I felt like this world was just completely against me, and then to just find that I found out that I was God, and then I spent 3 years waiting for people to come and help me, only for them to not help me, only for me to see the property market. The flat that I was in was probably worth about, I don't know, 200,000 when I first moved in. Like 3 years later, it was worth about 300,000. I don't know. It went up about £100,000 in the 2.5 years that I was there, and I was just like, I've only managed to save about 20,000, and that was basically of me living off literally nothing. And it's just fucking. I really hate everything about my life. I've always felt completely poor because buying a house was the only thing that I wanted, and yet the house market was going up more than I could earn. So if I spent absolutely nothing, if I lived off literally rice all year, and well, I don't know if I paid council tax in the first year. It might have been part of the lease. I can't even remember, but I don't know, if I would have just lived off eating rice alone and put every penny in towards buying a property, that house would have actually went up more in value over that year than I was able to earn. That's how bad it was. So that's why I moved to Birmingham, and things got slightly better. Because now I don't have rent to pay, so I'm not a slave. But this world, you have turned people into slaves, and I'm thinking about the Matrix, and that's what's happened. Humans have got turned into slaves, and that's exactly what's happened in reality. And I feel like if I hadn't have moved to Birmingham, then I would have just been a constant slave of the system. And I don't care. I don't care. This world is being shit to me, and so in a way I'm kind of glad that the world is being shit to others, and therefore I think if I died and I got no fame, no acknowledgement, I don't even know if people are watching my videos. I'm pretty certain they are, but often I see things that make me think, well, I don't think that person is. I don't think that. I mean, I keep telling Big Brother off for putting that show on, and yet they still keep putting that show on. So it's like, are they watching my videos or not? Like in 2022, I was connecting a lot with their show. Like their show seemed to link to my daily life many, many, many times. So I was like, well, I'm sure they're watching, or someone in the group knows about me, and yet clearly they don't, because why are they still putting that show on when I keep telling them not to? And apparently they've got it on again. In 2000 this year, the civilian version. And it's just, I don't understand why I feel like I'm connecting to so many people, and yet so many people are just ignoring me. And some people are, I think some people know and some people don't, but I don't know. But I know that if I died tomorrow and nothing happened, and if I allow then, or if I go on to invade, get AI to literally just imprison people using bombs, like take over the bombs, or the bombs that you're creating, and just threaten and literally enslave humans in the same way that the Matrix film. I don't care. I do not care at all, because I'm so against the human species that I just do not care. And so I it kind of gave me an idea for a film, like if I was to have a Matrix, the truth exposed, I could have like a girl that's come back in like the future. So I just say I die tomorrow. I say I live my whole life. The world is still only chasing after Jesus, still only chasing after something with a dick, because they value men more than women. It was just say that's the life that I live, and then no one helps me, no one acknowledges me. Maybe no one is watching my videos. Maybe everything that I'm doing is something that's only going to be found in like 20 years time, and no one, people are robots, and I can't tell if they are watching my videos and doing things because they're seeing things that I'm doing, or if they're just literally just doing whatever they're doing that links to my daily life because they're some sort of robot. And I don't understand like why they're so against me or whatever. I don't understand it, but I'm very angry over it. But yeah, if it just gives me an idea for a film, like if I imagine if I died, nothing happened, and then the world just turned into absolute shit because of my anger over how awful my life has been, and how I feel like no one was interested in me or anything that I did or whatever. Everyone's just chasing after the Messiah with a dick, and then I come back in the future, and the world is just complete destroyed. Everyone's been turned into sort of batteries that live inside, and then you find out, but you don't know that at the beginning of the film. You only find out that when they find this girl, and I think, should we invite her into our group or not? And then when she does eventually enter into the group, she kind of goes through a process where she starts realizing that actually she is the main one, and she is the one that caused all this war. But maybe she can see why she did it. Maybe she starts remembering why she started this war against humans versus machines, and it was because no one gave a shit about her during her life. And of course that they could still be worshipping the Neon figure. I think it must be set in like a time after Neon. And there could be like an argument, just in the same way that people are still debating over whether Jesus is the savior or not. Yeah, he is the savior, he is it, but he died and the world wasn't saved. No, but it's by believing in him you can be saved, and you can have the same sort of thing with the Neon figure. Yeah, he did save us. Before the war there was only this many people free, and after Neon came, there's now this many people free, so he saved us all. And then there could be a debate, because they're like, well, our life is still shit, so he hasn't really saved us. We're living in this cave, and we don't want to live in this cave. And then you find this girl who's actually the one, but they don't realize that. And again, they might even start rejecting her or thinking that she's just a nothing, and then she might start remembering that this is how I felt when the last time I came, and this was the reason why I turned computers against the humans, because none of them gave a shit about me. And then, but she keeps that to herself. I think when she starts realizing that, that's how I feel. I feel like I just don't care about humans, and therefore I because of what they've done in my life, and now I feel like I need to cut myself off and not contact humans, and not even tell humans that I'm angry, because I know that if I start saying this, they're going to start calling me more. Oh, why are you angry? Why are you upset? Oh, because you were my master. I'm a god, and yet you wanted me to be a masseuse for many, many years, and not recognizing, not being like, oh, wait there, she's Christ, she's God. Let's go to the media. Let's give her a better life. No, okay, yeah, I'll just give you 50 quid for a massage. You know, how am I supposed to like my massage clients when I told many of them, like that one that called me the other day, you know, I told him that I'm God. He knows that I'm God. He knows very well that I'm God, and yet his instinct to go to the press and to try and give me a better life just isn't there. He wants to come over so that he can, okay, now it's buy me a meal, but many, many times he's asked to come over and have a massage. He just cares about himself. He just wants another massage. It's just like, I'm God. I've been telling you that I'm God for many, many years, and yet all you want me to do is massage you when you're nude. Why the fuck would your God... Why would the only purpose in God's life to give you a fucking massage when you're naked? You know, every one of my clients only just would want that. They wouldn't want to go to the press and try and make me famous. They wouldn't want me to have a better life, to live in a nice house, and none of that. And so I'm just, you know, the anger that I'm feeling from having just such an awful life. You know, if this world just blows up tomorrow and every single one of your buildings die, I don't care. I wasn't allowed in them. I wasn't invited in them. I didn't own one of your nice homes. So why should I care if they fucking blow up, you know? And the Matrix video definitely reminds me of that, because the whole world is just in absolute chaos. And so I'd love to change the narrative of the story and meet the reason why the real world is so fucking shit is because you gave me the life that I have just lived now. And you know, I don't know what the future is going to happen, but if the world right now ends up looking like how that world looks in the real world, I would be proud to say that I was the one that did that because you did this to me, you know. And you're not going to like that. No, you're not going to like that. But I feel like, you know, just, that's how angry I am. That is how angry I am. And it's amazing how there's a lot of people that might look at me and just be like, oh, you're cute, aren't you? Yeah, but I'm also fucking deadly. Do you not understand that? You've given me a horrible, horrible life, and to think that the only thing you want to see when you look at me is just someone that's cute. It's like you clearly don't know anything about me or how I feel or how you've made me feel. But yeah. Not a good message. I don't even know why I'd post this. I don't even know if people are watching this. If you're going to just let me die having a horrible shit life and then maybe find my videos after I died, then I would just be like, haha, well, this was your fault for letting this happen. And for all the massage clients that I told that I was God and yet were just like, poo, I don't care. God has come as a masseuse. Yes, give me a massage, because being a masseuse, my God, being a masseuse and massaging me when I'm nude, you know, this is the only thing that matters to me. I don't care about the life that she lives. I don't care about the house that she lives in. I don't care about how she feels rejected by this whole world. Oh, she's angry. Oh, she's angry. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, why would you be angry? Like, she's so patronizing, the way he would say things like that. Oh, I don't understand. What's wrong? I've been telling you for years that I'm a god, and yet I feel like I'm enslaved by humans. Why would I be happy, or why would I even want to talk to you if you haven't made any attempt to try and get your fucking people to stop ignoring me?